Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Here we are on the Kingly Discussions podcast with your host, none other than yours truly, Jared Lewis, aka King J. Lou, aka King J. Lewis, coming at you with another power session here. I'm so glad, I'm so thankful that you're here. But the moment that this thing happened, I wanted to say something about it then. But y'all know me. I would like to respond to things rather than react to it. But it's just been on my heart to talk about this thing. I don't know why I waited so long, but I kind of do because I know how I am and I know how I operate. I don't operate in messy stuff, even though the way that things are going is still messy. And I probably know why it took me this long to come up with my complete thoughts, to come up with my complete feeling and complete discussion as to how I wanted to present this to you guys, because I honestly truly believe that this affected everyone. Um, my Oh my God, my children were on TikTok. They were on TikTok before I was on TikTok. And whenever I got into TikTok, I was like, okay, all right. So this kind of TikTok was more than what everybody else looked at it towards, as to the scope and lens that I looked at it. TikTok, man, TikTok was the gateway for me doing all of my content. It was the push. It was the drive. TikTok was the push for me to be a content creator. And if you don't believe me, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. You need to hashtag King J Lou or hashtag King J Lewis, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. TikTok started that trend for me. That hashtag, uh, TikTok did that for me, and I was like, man, so this is the basis of everything. This is the basis of content creation, to be able to say, oh my God, if I hashtag my, this is what it is. And I was like, oh my God, they took TikTok. And I was like, they took TikTok. Now I know what everybody says, well, it's just content creation. It's just this, it's just that. Yeah, I understand that, but you took TikTok. I don't think people understand about TikTok that there's actually a section on TikTok that's educational for STEM. But you take TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Like, of all the things that, that we need done in our country, as far as the poor, as far as the veterans, as far as our educational system that they're trying to take away for some reason, um, the plethora of things, the social security that I might not have as a 35-year-old gentleman right now, you take TikTok. It's that just baffles me. It amazes me how, we can choose and zero in to one thing and try to take it away, even though it's an ounce of freedom, because that's all content creation is. Content creation has a lot to do with freedom. And as a child, that's one of the discrepancy things, one of the fallacies in my childhood that I wish I could change, was the fact that I didn't feel like I had a voice. So I had to build myself up to this grown 35-year-old black man that's now able to, freely talk. You got to realize, when I was in high school, we had to be built tough. I had an English teacher that straight up told me straight out, hey man, you can't write. I did a research paper for her. She was like, "Yeah, you can't write. You do. You don't worry about it." And look at me. I'm doing all these things in the kingdom of God. I have the real podcast that I plan my content. I write outlines. I write notes. I write all these things. I had to build myself to get where I am today. And TikTok was a resource, was a social media resource that helped me make quick videos, to make content creation and all this other stuff. CapCut is also a part of content creation too, from TikTok. And you took TikTok. and my mom felt the same way too, which was kind of weird. So I was like, okay, I know I ain't crazy. This thing is real. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, this thing is for real, for real. Like, you take TikTok. Why would you take TikTok? Of all things to take, why take TikTok? So I'm just sitting here just thinking, like, why take TikTok? What's the purpose of taking TikTok? What does that mean? For you to take TikTok, what does that mean? So as one day, as me and my mom were talking, we were having conversation. Um, she came up with this Bible verse, and it just amazed me that as a in that how even in the Old Testament, um, how things are unfolding right now for us, right? Even with the Old Testament. I'm a New Testament believer. I believe solely, totally in the New Testament. When I teach, when I do these things, when I minister, I do all these things in the New Testament. But the Old Testament has some really good things in there. And Mama had brought up Psalms 12 and 8. And I was like, what? And because I had heard Psalms 12 and 8, but I didn't hear Psalms 12 and 8 to the depiction of what did it have to do necessarily with TikTok. So in Psalms 12 and 8, it says, the wicked walk on every side, right? The wicked walk on every side when the vilest of men are exalted. The wicked walk on every side while the vilest of men are exalted. And what does that have to do with TikTok? The vilest of men, the vilest of men, the evilest of men, the evilest of people are right in our Congress and in our American government. And people are praising it. Isn't that just weird? I don't care about anybody else's personal views. I don't care about political affiliations. I don't care about any of that stuff. The one thing I care about and I will not back away from is the word. Because the things that some of these people are doing are vile. Hear what I'm saying? Evil. Who would want to take away Social Security? Of all the taxes that we pay, who wants to take away Social Security? I'm talking about evil. Who would want to get rid of affordable health care? I'm talking about evil, okay? I'm talking about vile, right? And it's just amazing to me. It's appalling to me. I just don't understand it. But you go after TikTok, which is a stream of income. A place where people can actually learn something, right? We waste millions of dollars and thousands and hundreds of dollars on getting rid of TikTok. I, it it amazes me. The wicked walk on each side when the vilest of men are exalted. They walk on each side. It don't matter if they're Democratic. It don't matter if they're Republican. The evilest of men, the vilest of men are right there. So what's the purpose? What's the purpose? Why does TikTok mean so much? What is the value of TikTok? It's owned by China. Okay. Owned by China, somebody who you can't control. Owned by China, someone who has infiltrated us. Uh, Owned by China. There's a lot of things owned by China that we export and import through and with. But why TikTok? Psalms 12 and 8, I think, was is a good verse to use for us to understand why they took TikTok. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest of men are exalted. Do you know that when people are persistently doing bad things, they become accustomed to doing those bad things? Then the people that are around them do not believe in anything else other than the bad things that they're doing. So if you take away TikTok, you're not just taking away social media. When you're taking away TikTok, you're taking away freedom. You're taking away a freedom that says you have the right to voice your opinion. Now, somebody told me that opinions are like buttholes because everybody got one. And so far, what we have come to figure out is that everybody has one of those. Everybody got one of those. So that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But understand that when you take things like this, that provides streams of income. Whenever you take things like TikTok, you're talking about identifying yourself and learning and growing. Whenever you take things like TikTok, you have to be careful because you can actually accomplish something that is more evil and vile than what you even thought that you were trying to accomplish. What you're trying to do, if you're not careful, is bring people back into slavery. Slavery never left, in my opinion. Slavery never left, in my opinion. I think that slavery, because everybody needs to read the Willie Lynch letter. Everybody, everybody, white folks, black folks, I don't care what kind of folks you are. Everybody need to read the Willie Lynch letter. Because I believe that slavery is vile and people didn't know it was vile be- until the freedoms started being taken away. Hear me out. It starts with TikTok, y'all. The status quo is to keep your mind focused on what they want your mind to be focused on. So, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Continue to be yourself. Don't give up. Uh, be persistent, be consistent, continue to be the best version of yourself, and allow yourself the grace to be able to do the things that you need to do. If you use TikTok, fine. If you don't use TikTok, fine too. But just remember the value of TikTok because it's greater than the social media platform. Oh, you reaching, you reaching, you reaching. No, player. No, no, no. See, because if you paid attention, you will understand that things that promote freedom are at higher value than paper, money. Don't let them take your freedom away. Don't let them take your freedom away. I think that's why them taking away TikTok meant so much to me. And of course, right now it's back. It's back in the app stores. Well, I don't know if it's back on Android. I know it's back on Apple. Um, I think that's why it bothered me so much and why it took me so long to respond because I want everyone to be aware of your freedom and how much it costs and what the value is of it. Don't forget that. Don't forget how valuable you are as a person. Don't forget how valuable you are as an individual. Don't ever forget that even though people don't agree with your opinions, you're still allowed to have it. You still are allowed a voice. And don't ever forget that. That's all the time we got on this power session. I thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next power session. And again, don't ever forget this. Don't ever forget this. Always remember to be the best kingdom citizen that you can be and exercise your right as a kingdom citizen. God bless. I love you.